Hello! Today we will be making some Lunar New Year wall decorations. To give everyone more options, I prepared some templates to help you follow along as I draw. I also scanned my paintings so you can make the pop-up version with me or simply cut and paste them onto the wall directly after printing. All the links are in the description box down below. Now let's go! Starting with a blank A4 paper, I estimated how much space my rabbit chibi head and body would take up. I like to keep the head and body the same size. I also left some space up top for the bunny ears. It is a habit of mine to draw characters from shapes and add guidelines. This ensures that my poses and angles are more or less accurate before I start on the details. I gave her a pose that I thought was cute, but in hindsight, it kinda looks like she needs to pee. It is crucial to keep the eyes closer to the bottom half of the face if you want to keep your chibi looking young and cute. I also use my shoulder to move my arm to make larger, softer, and rounder strokes. Once I am satisfied with the general pose, I started to adjust the details of the rabbit. This is also the point where I start adding decorations and clothing. It is another way to bring more personality to the drawing. Now I'm starting on my male rabbit. I keep the first rabbit next to me as a reference to help me maintain the same size and proportions for the second rabbit. I'm going to speed through this part since the drawing method is essentially the same. Instead, we will focus more on the painting. I decided to use poster colors to paint my rabbit. I also edited the design of the female rabbit's dress off screen to make it look more Chinese. After careful consideration and research, I opted for a neon pink, yellow, and brown color scheme. This choice is intended to give a modern twist to the design rather than sticking with the traditional red and gold. I apologize for skipping between painting the two rabbits here. It was easier to paint the same colors at the same time, but I forgot to account for how confusing it can look on screen. I'll keep this in mind for my next videos, I promise. I applied minimal blending as a stylistic choice and only added shadows when necessary for the readability of forms. This approach was specifically applied to the female rabbit's dress so the entire outfit doesn't end up looking like a pink blob. Neon shapes and highlights are added into the eyes to make it look more lively and sparkly. I'm using a muted red paint and gold metallic poster color to paint the couplets. On the left it says, 心想事成, may you achieve anything your heart desires. And on the right it says, 万事如意, may everything go your intended way. Now I mix metallic gold with brown, orange and neon pink to create a rose gold to trace the line art of the rabbit. Please pardon me if you notice glimpses of my glasses and forehead appearing on the corner of the screen. I am still learning how to film and sometimes I forget the camera is there when I'm engrossed in making art. Here, I applied white paint for highlights and a combination of white and gold paint for sparkles to create a magical and dewy appearance. I then added a border around the outline with a gold pen and cut everything out with my trusty scissors and penknife. And we are done with the painting! From here on out, we are going to move on to the layering stage. Feel free to stop here if you want to. Please show me your completed artwork. Tag me at #the_ADHD_artist on Instagram so I can see your results. Time for more cutting and pasting! Yay! I scanned and printed about 10 copies of each rabbit and printed a smaller version earlier on for color testing and to mark where I want to cut all the layers. I brought the rabbits out to cut on public transport and when I'm waiting in line for maximum efficiency. If you are watching, my dear husband, please just buy me a cricket machine. Taking one of the female rabbits, I cut away the gold outline as well as the lowermost layer, which is the back leg and the couplet. I then pasted foam tape on the back and attached it to another piece that has everything intact. Rinse and repeat for every part, progressively going from bottom to top to create a 3D effect. Because I have a need to be extra, I added scotch tape on top of the eyes before I pasted another layer with the eyes cut out. I then sliced open the mouth to slot in the tongue. Is it me or is my script starting to sound more and more like a serial killer's? Now I continue to add the topmost layers to my female rabbit and she is complete! Then I replicate the steps for my male rabbit. Both rabbits are finally complete! Thank you so much for sticking to the end. If you enjoyed yourself, please give my tiny, infant, minuscule channel a like and subscribe. Shout out to the 7 subscribers I have here. Happy New Year! Bye!